The artifact that I chose to talk about is a lesson plan that I made and eventually got to teach during my practicum. I had the opportunity to introduce a new unit in science to the students, and so I really wanted to try and think of ways that would engage all types of learners right from the start. So I was lucky enough to have a few weeks to get to know the students and the way they learn, and I thought it was important to take this into consideration when creating a lesson. If we want to reach every student and provide the kind of instruction that allows all students to learn, we need to start with knowing our students. And so, with that being said, I try to make the main activity of the lesson hands-on and very kinesthetic, and I figured that this would be best for this particular group of students. They really enjoyed QDPA and just being able to move around, so I decided to go with the idea of having the students be actively involved in the lesson and me just facilitating it. Essentially, I had the students model our solar system with some objects and string, and with a small group, I had them be our lucky scientists to collect data, hypothesize, write anything down, and think of questions that we can discuss afterwards. In addition to having the students model our solar system, we also did some math by measuring relative distance from each other and making predictions as we built our model. And by the end, the kids really got excited to see the result and how far the planets were from the sun, which was another student. This lesson had to continue on the next day due to time, and I had them do an art activity based on our lesson so that kids were able to show their creativity and understanding and at the same time have some fun with some of their art skills. So relating to the Learning for All document, it says that the idea that the student's success depends on the educator's clear understanding of their students' strengths and needs, the types of learners they are, and the kinds of learning tasks that are likely to engage their interest and stimulate their thinking. So with that being said, and having sort of an abstract, complex topic that I had to introduce, I wanted to make sure that I really knew each student's pace in learning and understanding, and at the same time, make the lesson be engaging and have them thinking by the end of it. So my lesson plan had components that were all different, yet all somewhat related to one another, and it accommodated for all students with their unique set of skills and interests. This is really important to me because I wanted to make sure that their understanding after the lesson translated through a platform that they felt comfortable and confident to share. I also want to make sure that assessing was fair with their differences in learning and with their pace in understanding. So in order for me to get to know some of the students, I asked many of them questions about why certain classes were enjoyable and why they liked it so much. Questions like, why is drama your favorite subject? Or what do you like about phys ed or art, etc. It was a quick way for me to collect and think of ideas for the days I plan to teach. And my hope was that to get students excited about what they're learning, to feel good about their learning, and be able to share their understanding with their peers and myself. I wanted them to know that their voices are important and heard, and that I care about their involvement in the planning and learning. So to relate to the course, going back to one of our tutorials a few weeks ago, my peers and I discussed about the importance of student voice and how they should be at the forefront of their learning and have opportunities to develop leadership and teamwork skills. This is essentially what I tried to implement when going through and planning my lesson plan. If they're the ones learning the material and content, why not provide a space for them and have them be a part of the planning? And so I believe that a good teacher should see the student as a whole and support their involvement in the process. Getting to know your students leads to effective lesson planning and assessment, and it just results in a more consistent approach to teaching. When we start to believe that our students are the beginning of our daily planning, we then begin to carry out that belief and really take that time to know the students and their learning needs. And this is, again, also stated in the Learning for All document. And so in conclusion, I truly believe that teaching and learning starts with the students. Start with them and everything else will follow.